Hey everybody, Eric here with my top 12 books of 2021. I know in my channel update videos, a couple of times, I said I was going to do a top 10, but I didn't want to pare it down past these 12. So you're getting 12. Consider it one per month, although I didn't pick these one per month. They're in no particular order, or technically, the order that I have them on my phone, pictures of the covers, because I have stacks and stacks of books on the floor, so I have no shelf space, and once I read something, it sort of gets rotated into the back, so newer stuff stays up front, so I can remember to read it. So a lot of these things are sort of buried. I didn't want to take the time to try to dig them all out, because you'd have to wait 2 more weeks for this video. I don't know. But so I have pictures of all of these covers on my phone. We're going to go through them. And these are, I think these are all at most a couple of years old to present. There's one that's very, very new. As of this recording, I think it came out like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I pre-ordered it and got it a little early, but for the general public. Anyway, these are just the books that made the biggest impression on me, that I enjoyed the most. Not saying these are the best books that came out, just the ones that I loved this year, at least the top 12 of the ones that I loved this year. So let's just jump right in. Hopefully this will show up well enough on my phone here. See if we can at least get rid of that stuff. So first up, again, no particular order. I'm not saying this is number 12. I'm not saying it's number 1. I'm just saying it's on the list. But we have, let's see how this shows up. Hopefully you can see that well enough. Touch the Night by Max Booth III. This was a fantastic book. Max Booth III is an amazing writer. And the voice he used to write this narrative was amazing. It was distinct from his other stuff. The characters, the situations, the dread that builds in this book, the pain. It's about 2 African-American boys who are arrested, and the cops are not what they seem to be, and they're the boys' mothers, who do not get along, try to find their kids because the cops don't seem to be doing anything. There's a lot going on, but it's absolutely amazing. It's heart-wrenching. It's horrifying. It's Touch the Night, Max Booth III. Fantastic. The hardback came out from Cemetery Dance. This is the paperback that I have from Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing. Next up, we have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I actually have 2 copies of this. I bought the hardback when it first came out. Then I bought the trade paperback because there was a beautiful, pulpy cover painting on the inside cover that I absolutely wanted to have. I was a little nervous, for lack of a better word, when it came to reading this. I had never read Silvia Moreno Garcia before, and Gothic horror isn't, my normal reading. Nothing against it, just not something I've read a lot of, but this was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. The main character is a young Mexican woman who is sent to check up on her cousin, I believe it is, who has married into this family and sent a letter saying that things aren't quite right. And so this young woman goes to this Gothic manor, and crazy shenanigans happen. It's incredibly well written. The characters are interesting. Despite being sort of the spoiled little rich girl, the main character is very compelling, and it's really creepy and great. It's fantastic. And I don't know about the hardback because I read the paperback, has some extra material, some inspirational material, some behind-the-scenes material, different things. Really nice. Next up, we have Twisted, Tainted Tales by Janine Pipe. It is a short story collection, and I absolutely loved this when I was reading these stories. I've said this in my review, I just got that sort of nostalgic feeling that I got reading Richard Matheson short story collections, and just a nice mix of different types of horror stories. And Janine Pipe, fantastic writer, fantastic person. She's got like so much stuff going on. Man, I wish you could see that cover a little better, because it's an I'm trying to get the light off of it. It's an amazing cover. Yeah, just all around great collection of short stories. So much fun. Damn it. Is that the best way? Man, I really wish you could see that cover. Let's check it out. You can Google it. Next up, a little something different. Red Widow by Alma Katsu. She came to prominence, I don't know, with The Hunger and The Deep, her sort of historical horror stories. This is straight up espionage thriller. Alma Katsu worked in that world for a long time, and so, you know, this is the type of book that comes from personal knowledge. And it's about a woman who had some trouble at her last posting. A woman that works for the CIA had some trouble at her last posting, thinks she might be on the outs, but then she's assigned to finding a mole. They believe there's a mole in the CIA. She is assigned to find that mole. And it's really compelling. This isn't James Bond type stuff. There aren't car chases and gunfights and gadgets. This is down to earth. More, is it 7 Days of the Condor? The book, I think the movie's 3 days. But it's that kind of grounded, just keeps you on the edge of your seat, builds tension kind of thing. But it was fantastic. Red Widow. It's the only Alma Katsu I've read. I need to pick up her other stuff and read it. Oh, next up. Beautiful cover here. Children of Chicago by Cynthia Palaio. The first in a series. Absolutely another fantastic story. There's a series of strange murders, and always seems to be graffiti nearby that mentions the Piper. It's been a while since I read it. Don't remember the specifics of the graffiti. And the detective that's investigating these. And her father was a detective. He's passed away. Her father's partner is her mentor, but he's retiring in a week. And she doesn't always get along with her new partner, so there's all that kind of stuff going on. Meanwhile, there are these murders, and it delves into like grim fairy tales, Grimm's and grim, two different words there. And it's got some twists and turns. There were things I expected to happen that didn't. They went a completely different way. Just really, again, well written, great characters, compelling story. I can't wait for the next part. I don't know if it's a direct sequel or just a spiritual sequel. I have no idea. But Children of Chicago, Cynthia Palaio, fantastic. Then we have, I have a special edition of this. So you might not get this cover. Anyway, it's Queen of Teeth by Haley Piper. I pre-ordered this hardback. I don't know that it's a limited edition. I think it is. But this is difficult to describe. Is it a dystopian future? I don't know, but there are these people with these genes, and they have to go to this. There's this huge corporation, and they have to go and get, or not necessarily genes, it's virus. It's been a while. But they have to go, they have to get shots, they have to always report to this company, and the main character misses one of her appointments, and the company comes after her, and she starts mutating, for lack of a better word. And I think that's all I want to say about it. But as always, I think this is the first Hailey Piper I've read. I have quite a few of her things. I've read more since then. But again, just great characters, twists and turns. I had no idea where this was going. And it gets wild. Wild. I highly recommend. Well, of course, I highly recommend any of these. These are my top 12. But Queen of Teeth, Hailey Piper. Ooh, this one I think came out last year. Excuse me. But this is definitely towards the top of the list. Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. This book blew me away. I keep comparing it to Joe Lansdale, who is one of my absolute favorite authors, so I can't think of higher praise. This is about a guy, a family man. He owns a garage. He's a mechanic. He's a former getaway driver. And, as always with this type of book, he gets pulled back in. The action scenes are incredibly well written, but the interpersonal relationships, the character stuff, the dialogue, so fantastic. That's the stuff that really reminded me of Lansdale. Lansdale does great characters. S.A. Cosby has amazing characters in this. I have the book that followed this, Razorblade Tours. I have not read it yet, but I can't wait to dig into that. Of course, I have so much other stuff to read too, but amazing. Absolutely fantastic book, Blacktop Wasteland. S.A. Cosby, just incredible. All right, we're getting into some newer stuff. I don't know. We'll see. So next up is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a love letter to slashers. It's about a high school-aged girl who's obsessed with slasher films, and she believes that there's a slasher in her town. And she is an annoying character, I think, but a very interesting and compelling character. And aside from the story, there are these essays that the character has written for her history teacher in lieu of normal history assignments, and for extra credit, she's sort of writing this slasher history 101. And that's just those pieces are fantastic, where she's talking about slasher movies. But then the story itself is compelling. I think it's ambiguous. You don't know if there actually is a slasher, or if it's all in this character's head because of her obsession with slasher movies. But she's a great character. Everybody else, it's amazingly written. Stephen Graham Jones is just a fantastic author. They've just revealed recently, as of this recording, the cover for the sequel to this. And I'm looking forward to that. In the same vein, we have The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is another love letter to slashers. It's completely different than My Heart is a Chainsaw. And as the title suggests, this is there's a support group for final girls, and they start being is this proper sentence structure? They are being stalked, killed potentially, and it's told in first person, so it may or may not be unreliable narrator. I don't think that it is, in the sense that I don't believe the narrator is hiding anything. I just think the narrator, we are getting what the narrator thinks, which may or may not be true. So that the narrator's not trying to fool us. We only have the information that the narrator has given us and the interpretation that they have. Does that make sense? But this is also, if you're a big slasher fan, you should recognize who these characters are named after, who they're based on, what movies they're based on. They're all taken from actual slasher movies, but given, a little makeover. As far as that goes, but just really fun, completely different feel to My Heart is a Chainsaw, but I did sort of a slasher triple feature in my reading, and My Heart is a Chainsaw, the Final Girl Support Group were 2 out of the 3, and both of them fantastic. But there you go, Grady Hendrix, the Final Girl Support Group. Next up, some nonfiction, just because this is one of the craziest books I've ever read. Yours Cruelly, Elvira by Cassandra Peterson. An amazing story. Holy cow. I keep calling this the Forrest Gump of memoirs, it says. People try to explain to me the difference between a memoir and an autobiography, and it all seems like the same thing. But anyway, holy cow, from the youngest age, Cassandra Peterson is just bumping into tons of famous people and having just amazing adventures, for lack of a better word. If you're a fan of, whether or not you're a fan of Elvira, if you're just interested in amazing life stories, I would recommend this. It was just an incredible read, an incredible story. And it's got that sort of snarky Elvira tone throughout. All right, we're down to the last 2. So this one, very recent. And I wasn't sure about putting it on the list. I mean, it was close. Obviously, it made it. This one is Star Wars Ronin, a Visions novel by Emma Mieko Candon. Not sure about that pronunciation. I love that cover, and I am a big Star Wars fan. Not the kind that's complaining about everything and picking everything apart. Let me just be clear on that. But I love the mix of the Japanese samurai feudal Japan setting with the Star Wars universe. So this character is a Ronin. And I like that his lightsaber is broken and can't be shut off. So he has to have a scabbard to put his lightsaber in. And you just have these quaint villages and tea ceremonies with droids and spaceships and laser guns and lightsabers and force powers. And it was so well written and turns the whole Star Wars universe on its head, builds its own world within a world that's already been created, if that makes sense. I would love to see more of this setting. So Star Wars, Ronin, a Visions. Really good, entertaining stuff. And then finally, I think this is the most recent book. This is the one I pre-ordered. So I got early before it was officially available. This is Waif by Samantha Kolesnik. As always, I'm going to apologize if I've mispronounced her name. From Grindhouse Press. It's just a little novella, but it is so fantastic. It is so compelling. The main character is in an unhappy, abusive marriage, and she's at the grocery store. She sees a guy that is her fantasy guy. Not someone she actually knows, just when she's having sexual fantasies, picturing her perfect guy, that's what this guy looks like, and that sort of triggers all the things that happen. And it is just fantastic. It goes in the strangest places. The characters are compelling, and I loved it. It's amazing. So Waif is the 12th book on this list. And that's it. Those are my top 12 books that I read in 2021. I did not hit 100 books this year. I know there's a few weeks left. I'm not going to hit 100. I did last year. But there's 12 out of the however many I did read. Somewhere between 70 and 100. I haven't counted. But that's it. There you go. This is the first one of these I've done, so I don't know what else to say. I guess my question is, which of these 12 interests you the most? Or have you read any of these? Do you want to read any of these? Which seems the most interesting to you? Let me know in the comments below. I've reviewed... Hold on, now I got to turn my phone back on. Let's see, I've reviewed 1, 2... Well, all of them, I'm sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, I've reviewed all of them. So feel free to check out those reviews for more in-depth talk about these books. Yeah, so that's it. That's my top 12 for 2021. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I'm supposed to say in this type of video. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got for you. Hopefully you've read some great stuff this year. Let me know what your favorites, what books just blew you away that you read this year. Throw that in the comments below as well. All right, that's all I've got. So until next time, read more books.